So I started doing music videos. I did 4 or 5 for the band Garbage that did Only Happy When It's Rain and all that.
Okay.
Shirley Manson turned out to be one of my neighbors, and I was such a fan of them anyway. And they were in a few bands we didn't have on Pancake Mountain. But again, it was so cool just to be able to make whatever you could imagine, you could kind of create there. So as much as I hate a lot about LA, I do love that there's spaces out there, there's equipment, there's people willing to work long, crazy days. Yeah. And so that's what I kind of started doing.
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall.
Hey folks, welcome to another Something in the Water podcast. I'm Uncle Dave Griffin along with Sean Clark.
And our guest today is Scott Stuckey, who is a filmmaker and a music producer, and we can't wait to talk to you about all the stuff you have done. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
How you doing?
Really excited to be here. I'm doing well.
Good.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're originally from Eastman, Georgia.
Correct.
But you've lived in California, LA?
Well, for about 12 years.
I forgot
I
about
grew up
Washington.
in Washington, D.C.
Washington.
One of the most corrupt cities. Though so is Eastman, I guess, in some ways. I'm not off to a good start. Putting down Eastman and D.C. at the same time.
Some people just like to live on the edge, you know.
No, my dad got involved in politics when I was 2 years old. He became a United States congressman.
Wow.
And moved us all to D.C. When I was like 2. They lived in the same house for 50 years and have recently retired down in the Golden Isles. But I've been in L.A. about 12 years.
Okay.
So
now, what we don't generally talk politics on here, but what party was he in?
Democrat.
Democratic. And
But back then, everyone in, a Dixiecrat or,
Yeah.
Everyone was a Democrat, I think.
what years was that?
66 to 76.
Oh man, a lot of good history.
So a lot
right
of,
there.
he got out around the Nixon time.
Wow.
Lyndon Baines.
Oh, LBJ. He was right in the middle of all that.
Crazy.
Strong Thurman.
So, Lester Maddox. Oh my God. I could go on, but
Well, that was probably, it was either interesting or boring as a young kid, but
no, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so different than Eastman. I mean, because that's where we had no family in DC. We didn't know anybody up there.
Yeah.
So it was, I'm sure, a shock to my mom and dad, but 2, you acclimate pretty quick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just figured this is the way it is.
This is the new.
So this is the new life. You just go where your parents pretty much
Yeah.
put you. That's the funny thing about little kids.
So was it a lot of these big,
They can take you anywhere, and you're like, okay.
big parties and stuff like that?
So, I don't remember because we were so young when he got out. I was 10 or 11 years old. But I do remember we'd go wild because they couldn't really supervise or keep an eye on us when they would either host big parties or go to them. We would just go crazy. And especially when we hosted them, they'd have all this food and stuff and just crazy. We would run wild and, they couldn't control you. But no, I have good memories of growing up in DC.
That's pretty cool.
Great. How did you get into whichever came first, the music or the filming?
Music came first. It really moved me. My dad is tone deaf, doesn't like any music of any sort.
Wow.
But my mom was really into the Beatles and Bob Dylan, a lot of the singer-songwriters. And so we always had those albums. And my dad being in Congress, every year we always have a bunch of interns staying with us, and they would usually be in their 20s when we were like 11 or 12. Yeah. So they had all the Beatles albums and Rolling Stones. So like Exile on Main Street was one of my first albums, which I still love to this day.
Great album.
So music was really a passion of mine.
Yeah.
And I didn't do well in school. So I knew I wanted to do something either with music or visual from kind of an early age.
All right. So let's put this into perspective. You told me in the kitchen, you were born in 64?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So you're hitting 18 at 82?
82.
Okay.
In D.C.
And
Mayor Barry's our mayor.
Wow. I bet there's a music scene up there.
There was. Yeah. It really changed me. I wasn't that much into punk rock, but it was a big punk scene. Big punk scene. And it really changed the way. Before then, I'd been to a few shows, but like big arena rock, like Eric Clapton, Santana, and Eddie Money on one bill, in the big arena, Capitol Center. And then all of a sudden, I'd go to these punk shows, and you were like 5 feet away from this energy, this craziness, and it made you think, I can do this. Yeah. These are just it's attainable.
Right.
Eric Clapton running in the back of the limo and then catching his Learjet wherever. That seemed
that's
just
out of
far off. That, not us. But then to see your friends up on a stage, really made me think you can just create. You don't need,
you can do it on all
it's
kind
so
of
punk. And punk doesn't have to be a style of music. I think it's a kind of way, a lifestyle way of life. This is so punk. We're in Waycross, Georgia, doing a podcast that people can see anywhere in the world right now. And just creating it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what you do.
Did you get into playing music, or were you just on the producing side of things?
I had some part of my problem in school was an auditory processing problem. I could hear okay, so it wasn't like a hearing aid would correct it. But I had trouble playing an instrument, but that made me want it to do it even more. And it helped me from a cognitive point of view and all that. But I was never that great at it, but I loved it. And I taught myself guitar, bass, a little keyboard. And I still enjoy playing so much to this day and jamming, but I'm not that great. And that's why I switched to filmmaking. But always with an emphasis on music, from music videos to Pancake Mountain.
Tell us about Pancake Mountain. That's one of your
Well, I loved bands and doing music, and I was already getting into film. And I loved local TV growing up. We had, as you probably did, there were channels. There weren't 200 channels like there are now.
Exactly.
So after like the soap operas or stuff, they'd cut back to the local television programming. And the same guy that did the weather in the morning would play a clown or something in the afternoon. And again, like the punk rock, I just love that. These are people you knew going to watch these little tapes. So I kind of wanted to recreate that feel of a show. And DC had a public access, cable access show. Or channel that no one really was doing anything with. So I thought this would be a good thing to do. And I already knew a lot of bands from my years recording music. So they became the early guest on Pancake Mountain. And it just kept building.
You right in all on your own, or was you and somebody?
Well, actually, a really good friend of mine, I was working on a project with a guy named Ian Mackay, who started kind of the punk movement in DC. He started this movement called Straight Edge, where they don't have sex, they don't cuss, they don't drink.
That's pretty punk.
That's pretty punk. And all the punks did the opposite back then.
Right.
I did the opposite back then. I was never really quite into the straight edge. But we were working on a project together, and I was like, I want to start a public access show. And we're throwing around ideas. And he said, oh, maybe like a kid's dance party or something. And we kind of riffed on that together. And that's kind of where we came up with the idea. The name came from Fugazi, his band, and they did the theme song also. So right away from the beginning, that built us a lot of credibility within a certain kind of musician, because they're known for never doing advertising or interviews or anything. So to do a music video with us, people are like, oh, they got to be okay.
Yeah, because they don't just do anything. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we were fortunate in that sense.
But you were still local access, right?
Right. You could only pick it up in D.C. on.
Right. Now, did it ever break out of that, or was it that part of its appeal?
It did. About 3 years later, well, we got some great press during that time. While we were on cable access, we were in Time Magazine as an innovator in kids shows. We were on CNN 2 times.
Wow.
The LA Times named it one of the best 10 shows of the year.
Wow.
And again, we were only in DC on this little public access show. So Hollywood came a calling. J.J. Abrams, who does Star Wars and all that, called up and said, I want to produce this. And all my friends were like, dear God, you're going to be living in the hills driving Ferraris. And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
It was all an idea.
But he took it around for a year, and all the studios were like, what is this? Is this for kids or for stoners, or who is it for? And we're like, for everybody. You don't get it. You know, it's for everybody.
You got anything on that, Jay?
Yeah, we may have a clip of kind of what it's
Pull
about.
up, I think that is called, if you go to the channel, Pancake Mountain, then what is, that one. Yeah, let's start there. Is this kind of like a trailer for what the show was?
And
very MTV looking, them letters up there.
Yeah, up there we got a little slicker. That came later, but in the beginning, as you'll see, most of it was pretty. Yeah, that's it right there.
Why is it doing that? Oh, you got it.
We have a goat puppet named Rufus. I guess this will be edited out, but
yeah, it's keeping the border up there. It's weird.
CNN's Elaine Quijano takes us to the new world of Pancake Mountain.
Listen to this for a second. Okay.
That was you.
Yep. Yes.
There's a cable access
I've
show.
aged.
It's called Pancake Mountain. It's kind of like a throwback show. It's kind of like the Muppet Show. Now, Pancake Mountain is amazing, and one of the big reasons is because of the music on the show.
So that's a newer band.
Yes.
Some educational value here.
If Fellini and Monty Python decided to make a kids show, it might look something like this.
Those bands around and played on the show.
You know, when you see Fugazi or you see Jack White and Meg, of course you want in on that.
Those dance parties are great.
Sort of forgotten, but just encouraging their creativity. That in itself is educative, and it's something I feel like, again, we're moving further and further away from.
Pancake Mountain promises
Reggie
to
Watts.
teach you nothing and delivers on that promise time and time again. Pancake Mountain, better than a stick in the eye, usually.
Nice.
There you go.
Awesome.
So better than a stick in the eye most of the time, depending.
And what's the quote about not teaching children or
we promise to teach you nothing.
promise to teach you
I
nothing?
think that hurt us when we were selling it with JJ.
Oh, yeah?
I think some of that.
Oh yeah.
They're like, what's the educational component? You know? But he was really great. He took it around for a year. We shopped it everywhere. No one really wanted it. We went our separate ways. I kind of forgot about Pancake Mountain, did other things. Then 2014, PBS calls out of the blue and said, we want to start doing more on the web, and we'd like to license you create some new shows for us. So that's some of that newer stuff, footage you saw in there. And that had a run of about 2 or 3 years. And now it's been about 6 years of no episodes, but hopefully coming back again for a third time. We're out kind of pitching it, but with the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Depending when you see this, people, hopefully the strike is over.
Over by then. Yeah.
But right now we're in a strike. So
were you trying to pitch it to now, or do you have something lined up for that? Or
we do.
Great.
It sounds so
You don't have to
LA,
tell-
but
yeah.
I have an agent.
yeah,
But he doesn't really do much. Sorry, Michael. Unless something is kind of moving already, then they're like, oh,
yeah.
I see.
I can hear
I have
his
this problem.
defense right now. Well, it is a show about nothing. Or it is a show
Exactly.
that-
We're not supposed to teach you anything. So we've kind of juggled that. And we've got, but as in that clip, Shirley Manson says that sometimes learning or education can just be in having fun, or, I mean, we have no more arts really in schools or sports. So I think introducing kids to music is so important. Again, I know it changed my life. Both
And creativity.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, definitely didn't have anything like that. Well, did have Captain Kangaroo. That was a pretty slick
yeah,
thing from my childhood. You know, that was
Mr. Rogers,
middle of the
but-
50s. And, then, yeah,
lamb chop.
yeah, she was big in my house too. Sherry Lewis.
But at a pretty early age, didn't you get tired of that and switch over to like Soul Train?
Well,
or,
it's like you were saying earlier, you know, it was, there was none of this.
it was all you had, right?
Just mind-boggling array of channels like we're exposed to nowadays. There was one.
Well,
Howdy
growing up in
doody.
DC, we had 3 channels. So
Yeah.
if the president spoke, you were watching the president.
Mhm.
Now, no one, you watch whatever you want, but you watched
Yeah,
whatever
it
they
was-
decided. 3
so
channels.
There was really, in other words, you didn't make any one thing your life, you know, at that point. Like, that's TV, it's fun. Yeah. And Mickey Mouse Club is coming on, we'll catch that. And then you hit the yard, and then you're out there playing with your friends and
Right.
neighbors, bicycles and
Which kids don't
football
really
and
do
everything.
anymore
Yeah,
either.
that was your life at that point, you know. And plus age too. As I'm growing up, TV's growing up and expanding to 12 channels.
Right.
And
But we had some great shows.
Yeah,
I
they were
think.
great.
I love
They
the
were great.
absurd. There was a lot, like I liked Laughing,
Mhm.
Hee Haw,
Mm-hmm.
some great playing on Hee Haw, and those jokes.
Yeah.
They stunk, but it was still
Yeah.
something so funny about it
Yeah.
being so bad.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my God. Laughing, Green Acres.
so that was kind of your springboard.
Yeah, that Green Acres is complete nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Wilbur.
Yeah, Wilbur. That poor dude, man. What was the main guy's name? Eddie Arnold.
Arnold
Arnold.
was the pig.
Oh, Arnold was
yeah.
the pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking
Wilbur.
Wilbur's from
Mr. Ed.
yeah.
Oh, that was a good one too. A talking horse, a flying nun.
Yeah.
We had all this crazy, trippy.
Yeah.
The guy, Mr. Haney in Green Acres.
Oh yeah, Mr.
Well,
Haney.
Mr. Douglas. Miss. That was
You do
Pat
that
Buttram.
well.
Pat Buttram
Uh-huh.
was originally a cowboy movie star. He was like Gene Autry's sidekick. You know, the singing cowboys, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, Hopalong Cassidy. There were so many of them because that was the thing. But they had to have a sidekick. And Pat Buttram was Gene Autry's sidekick. And it was in that book. We just went out West Coast back in April, and one of our gigs was in Pioneer Town, and just outside of Los Angeles. And in the late 40s, that was the vision of a tried and true character actor in that business out there. He said, "Man, this is great." There was nothing there. He said he bought some land unknowingly, And he said, I think I'll ride out there and take a look at it. And he got out there and it was, bing. He said, I'm going to build an authentic Western town, rent it out for movie sets to my buddies in Los Angeles, sell land lots to the locals, build them a blacksmith shop, a leather shop, a bar and a saloon and all, and let the locals run those businesses so they'll have an income. And it grew and grew and grew from there. But Pat Buttram was one of the, they filmed just about every Gene Autry episode right there at Pioneer Town. So.
And was it the Frisco Kid? Or?
Cisco Kid.
Cisco
Oh,
Kid.
Cisco Kid,
Cisco
yeah.
Kid
Mm-hmm.
was filmed there.
Mm-hmm. Roy Rogers was one of the early, I guess you had the townspeople and, your notoriety was higher up the scale, if Roy Rogers, the great singing cowboy, bought into Pioneer Town in the very first year. He was on the board of directors and all that stuff, making decisions about it. That was neat, though, to be able to go out there and walk amongst all of that just otherworldly
Like I hadn't changed at all.
scenery out there. Oh, Lord, that was so good. We had a good time. What was Spanky's girl? Was it Connie? Cindy?
Oh, wow.
Got her name. Doggone it. She sent a picture to my Facebook timeline of Uncle Dave's Waycross Stagecoach T-shirt, but she had
cut it,
amended it, and it was a beautiful tank top, and she's already beautiful. So, but she was sitting there with that all looking cool, close up in the desert hills of Pioneer Town, sassy with sunglasses, doing this with our Waycross Stagecoach T-shirt on.
How cool!
Yeah,
like a Johnny Cash move. Or...
Okay, so who was the biggest name act that you had on Pancake Mountain? Do you reckon?
That'd be hard to say who the biggest was.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
you had a lot of them.
Yeah. To certain people, that's the great thing about music is,
it's according to who you ask.
How it touches different people different ways. If you look at just record sales, I guess people like Katy Perry,
right,
or MIA or White Stripes, Eddie Vedder.
Oh my Lord, you had the White Stripes.
Yeah,
Kings of Leon,
My Morning Jacket, are all kind of big sellers. But some of my favorites are these little known. It's a band called Deerhoof. That's just insane. The drummer plays with just his bare hands, and it's just
wow. It's
crazy, and it's almost like we were talking about jazz earlier. You think it's going nowhere, and it kind of is, and then it would kind of turn around, and I loved it, and kids loved it. That's the great thing. If kids aren't like, oh, it's too hip not to like, their bodies just move if they like it. Right. So. That's kind of cool. As you get older, you got to be kind of like, oh, I don't like Taylor Swift. That's not cool.
I'm not supposed to like this. I'm not supposed to like this.
Yeah. So I would say those are probably the biggest name kind of people we've had.
It was Talking Heads part of that?
No, I wish. Okay. They were way done by the time.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
They had Kate Pearson.
Oh, yeah. B-52s.
Oh, okay.
Gerard Way's a good example. He's with a band called My Chemical Romance, right there. And I'm not that. Oh, we can see a little bit.
And who was doing the theme song?
Different. It was written by the people from Fugazi.
Good morning and welcome to the Weekend Pancake Report. I'm Gerard Way. Pancake Mountain has announced today that the dance party will feature all-you-can-eat pancakes. Doctors warn, however, this might increase your chance of getting a pancake. Thanks for that.
So I love just stuff, again, back to that absurd Green Acres kind of stuff. Just gorilla doing Pilates in the middle of the clip for no reason.
Yeah, I love
except
that
for to
kind
have
of stuff.
it, you know. But that guy Gerard Way is with a band called My Chemical Romance. And that's emo music, which I was never really into.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the favorites of everyone we've had on has been Gerard Way. And they recently played 6 nights in a row at the LA Forum, which is, 15,000 people. 5, 6 nights in a row, sold out every night. Wow. I went to the last night. And even though, like I said, I'm not that into it, to see that many people knowing every word and moving to everything, I got goosebumps. It's the power of music, like we've been talking about. It just, it moves you. And I love that. We've all pulled up next to someone in a car next to us, and they're singing at the top of their lung with the radio, you know? It's just, that's so great that it can just, it transcends everything.
How did you have the means of getting a hold of these acts in the beginning? I know that the word of mouth kind of kept it rolling, but like in the beginning, I guess you were friends with people like Ian MacKaye. So you got him, and then
it just kind of snowballed.
Suit.
Yeah, they heard about it. A publicist did from the record companies, and they started sending and trying to get their bands. So back when it was cool, now you get music for free, anything. But back then, we'd get all the CDs like a radio station would, and it was so cool. Like, oh my God, a big packet of CDs for free.
Promotional CDs.
No more saving up my allowance. We got free CDs. And then it just kind of snowballed, and all those bands pretty much wrote to us or their publicist. And I'm still on most of those lists, even though there hadn't been a show in 7-8 years. I still get invited every week to shows in LA or New York.
Wow.
And when I'm in LA, I try to go to still see live shows.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of young up and coming bands I like.
What was some of the first bands you got as far as like producing albums and stuff like that?
The first was a singer-songwriter named Vic Chestnut.
Yeah.
From Griffin, Georgia, Zebulon. But he was living in Athens when I moved to Athens for a short while, and we became really, really quick friends. And, well, actually, let me back up. Michael Stipe, I kind of knew through a friend from REM, and he said, I want to bring Vic in before he kills himself, that he was so self-destructive. We got to kind of get this on tape. And so they went and did one kind of just acoustic album to get everything just down to document it at John Keene's studio. And then when I got in there, he called me and said, let's do a whole produced album. And he brought Vic in, and we became quick friends.
Wow.
So then I worked with him on a few albums, and we were lifelong friends. He played on Pancake Mountain. We worked on a documentary together that we were doing at the time of his death. We were working on, and
What albums?
So, West of Rome, Drunk, and one called Nine High a Pallet with Widespread Panic. Being the backup band.
Yeah.
So awesome. I produced those.
What was his?
He was in a car accident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and my documentary is online. There's a picture of us when we were so young. One more down. Oh, you were right above it. Over one. Yeah, that's us. Oh my God. Me and little Vic.
And when I was helping Paul, our buddy Paul Lee, Paul was running sound in Athens for Human Rights Festival, and Vic was on the bill, and I was running the stage, so I got to meet him, and I was a huge fan, so that was pretty cool.
His lyrics, and he was so prolific. He wrote all the time.
Yeah, he would use all those words. Yes. So much of a vocabulary.
You needed a thesaurus to listen to his songs. You had to look up what's he saying?
What is he talking about? Yeah,
I've never heard someone rhyme sarcophagus with hummus, or I don't know. It was just crazy.
Now
shit.
this is not this is Sean and I have co-written a lot, and this is a song that we co-wrote, but neither one of us can take a credit for it because Sean's wife, Bess, filled in the one word blank. And it wasn't a rhyming word, but it was just, we needed something.
We needed something.
And it was a several syllable long break, and so we were just like songwriters, you just.
And what was the word?
Zoroastrianism.
Whoa, that's out there.
Yeah, well,
so I was like,
nice.
The line
I don't
is,
know if it's ever been used in any other song.
Nope. I think you could safely say.
She pulled up a bar stool next to me. She started talking about Zoroastrianism and how it set her free.
So I was coming home from probably writing
we
that
had
with you.
Started talking about.
You had started talking about methamphetamine and how it set her free, and it never set well with me. I was just like, I just don't think this is.
We're not going to support that.
I mean, I just didn't. I mean, we were writing a crazy song. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
but it just didn't. I wanted something stranger than that, and so I went home and from leaving you, and I was getting a shower real quick, and I said, try to find something. I didn't even tell her what we had to begin with. I just said. She was, what's the line?
She pulled up a bar stool next to me.
Started talking about blank and how it set her free. And
she walked in with her high heels on.
Yeah. So anyway, I go take a shower and just left her with that as it passed through. And I done forgot I even asked her about it. And she yells in there, Zoroastrian. I was like, what?
What are we even talking about?
What are you talking about? She just kept saying the word over and over. And I was like, what? In what reference? She's like, the blank. And I was like, oh, what does that mean?
How do you spell that?
Yeah.
Z.
And I was like, that's perfect. That's the perfect thing. So.
Yeah.
Do you guys get writer's block a lot?
No, I don't believe in writer's
Dave don't
block.
believe it.
I
well,
don't.
This
I
is from
really
a guy who
don't.
writes 3 songs a day. But
no,
nice.
It's not. It's not that either because I can go for months at a time. Maybe could go on and say years at a time. My theory is
I don't think you've ever went a year without writing a song.
Well, my theory is if you do hit a dry spell and they don't. What's that? Don't claim it from the universe by saying, I got writer's block. Because if you claim that, then by God,
then
you will
get in
have
that
writer's
mindset.
block,
Right,
and it'll
right,
just
yeah.
exacerbate the lack of.
You just haven't written another song yet.
That's all it
Yeah.
is. Wait, be patient.
Wait for the muse to come
the
to me.
muse
exactly.
will come again.
No, you got to call. You got to bring the
Yeah.
muse to you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you'll wait
Yeah.
forever
I'll
for
tell
that.
you a cool story. One night, I was working with Paul at the music store here. Paul Lee, that we keep referring to. He's in a lot of our conversations. He's in our hearts too, folks. And we both worked for him at his little music store here in Waycross that lasted.
I think we're both older than Paul. I think I'm older than him by a few months.
I'm definitely older.
Everybody thought he was my daddy when we go work somewhere, and I was like, "Tell your daddy." I was like, "Daddy."
Paul's really, really cool guy. He's from one of the smaller towns, maybe a little more rural county.
About halfway from Brunswick to here.
Yeah.
Hortense.
Huh?
Huh?
Excuse me. Hortense.
But one of the best bass players you'll ever meet.
He's a good guy. He's smart. He's talented. He plays the hell out of a bass.
Sound man from hell.
After leaving the retail industry in 2008, he packed his bags and moved to Athens, where he could get a lot of work. Doing sound gigs for the performers, installing sound systems for churches, schools, and what have you, nightclubs and all. And then somebody tips him off, hey, man, Leon Russell just fired his sound man. You need to get your ass over to Nashville tonight. So Paul headed out from Athens to Nashville, had an interview with Leon, and boom.
Whoa.
He's with Leon Russell, the great Leon Russell. And he's just a easygoing fella. He's handy with tools. He's handy with guitars. He could be a mechanic. He's so
Paul or Leon?
Paul Lee.
Oh, Paul Lee.
Yeah.
He can, it's like one time something like this happened, they were on the tour bus and they couldn't get through an underpass or taking a ferry in Europe and Holland somewhere, and something wasn't height-wise matching up on that bus. Paul's over there. Everybody's running around.
Let the air out the tires.
Paul said, "I got it." He walks out there.
Yeah.
Around all the tires, and then the bus drops down, and they drive on.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy, just common sense. I was getting around to this long story about Leon Russell. That was a nice deal, and we recorded a concept CD, which was a little more of that creative stuff, that you just, it finds you or you go out looking for it, or it falls in your lap, that kind of thing, Just.
And that's how you met Leon Russell?
We both got, because of Paul, we both got to open for Leon Russell.
Wow.
But you met Leon before that by having him at the festival, right?
Yeah, I did.
But it was just kind of a hiring kind of thing.
Yeah, that wasn't really as cool as the opening gig.
Oh, I'm such a fan. I was telling Sean earlier that a few of his stuff, especially in the 70s, A Song for You.
Yes.
I want that at my funeral. It's so beautiful. I cry when I hear that.
It's one of them. I
love you in a place that has no space or time.
And the music with it, Just
and some of those videos, have you seen, there's a great video from the 70s where he's wearing those cool mirrored sunglasses.
You know who else is on that video? Furry Lewis.
Who?
Furry Lewis.
Furry Lewis?
The great Memphis blues musician.
Oh, cool. I love the name.
Had one leg and was a street sweeper. And had some notoriety as a younger man on Beale Street, but through the years, he took to drinking, lost his leg, probably lost his family, but he still kept drinking and still kept playing the blues, and eventually he was a street sweeper, just to keep it going, but he was recognized in that great, it's kind of a short, it's not a documentary, but they're all crammed in this studio in probably Los Angeles, and Furry Lewis is one of the featured performances in there. He's just an old black man sitting off to the side of Leon, and he has his segment. So, how many episodes did Pancake Mountain do over its?
Not many, probably 18.
Wow.
And
that was
18 years.
18 years.
But I mean, again, years without doing anything.
Yeah.
Between the first few and then 5 or 6 years between PBS and then 5 or 6 years till now.
So the initial local access run was
2004 to 2008 or 9.
And that was the very beginning of
Very
it?
beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said that it was right around your 80s that you had the idea. That's my bad.
Oh, no. In the 80s, I was just running wild in the streets of D.C.
Thinking about pancakes and
not thinking about nothing.
A mountain of pancakes.
Women and beer, I think, at that time.
So the 2004 to 2008?
Correct.
4 years and 18 shows, so it
No,
wasn't like a weekly
No, they
thing.
came back later.
we tried.
They came
and then
back
we came
later
to LA.
2014.
Right. J.J. Abrams
When
called.
when
And we
they
weren't making
picked it up.
shows, but we thought we were going to be striking it rich.
Yeah.
Pancake Mountain to the masses. I still got this great card from him, Christmas thing, saying I'd still kill to bring Pancake Mountain to the masses and stuff.
Wow.
I was like, let's do it.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we'll have a little springboard action.
Yes.
J-
JJ, if you're watching.
JJ should do a
Hit me
Pancake
up.
Mountain movie. The movie.
Oh, that's what with special effects and all that.
Man. Explosions.
See, that's his main gig. So
Yeah.
it was always so funny that he was interested. But he is interested in a lot of young, new talent and stuff besides the stuff he
Yeah,
makes.
that y'all opened up for in Athens.
JD Pincus.
JD Pincus.
Who was
You ever heard of
Jeff
him?
Pincus bass player from Butthole Surfers.
Yeah.
Now he's doing like this banjo stuff and has 2 projectors behind him. It's crazy stuff happening on the projectors. And
I think you'd like him.
effects. Oh man,
Wow.
he would be.
Well, the Butthole
up-
Surfers were crazy.
Yeah.
I saw them twice.
So now he's like a
Seen him
hillbilly
live
version
twice.
of Butthole Surfers.
Wow.
With like a 1-man band, big beard and a flipped up hat, and just
Oh my God, that sounds
yeah,
crazy.
he's a pretty cool guy too. He lives in Asheville.
Asheville has a good scene.
Yeah. Mhm.
Do you think that a lot of the scene, like, because I go to see as much, which there's not a lot live music in St. Simon's while I'm down here as I can, that it kind of stops a lot of the bands because you get to a certain level, you move to Atlanta being so close. Is that a bad thing for the local scenes or?
I don't know if there's
I don't.
the industry has suffered so much since the 90s, I guess you would say. It's when Napster came out and then everything started fast forwarded into Pandora and Spotify, where the artists lost their lucrative, royalties and stuff. Not like it used to be. The business itself, where a band could be discovered, out of the blue and get a record contract. The old formula was
That's a good point.
sign,
Yeah.
put out an album, get an advance, pay the advance back, tour. And nowadays,
You gotta-
without that stepping stone and everything,
You've kind of got to do it all by
You
yourself.
have to prove yourself
You've
first.
reinvented-
You have
Yeah.
to show you can. And so gone are the days of, I always wanted to be an A&R guy. Like I thought I'd be good at discovering music, which is kind of what I do at Pancake Mountain, curate or bring stuff. But people that discovered Springsteen and Dylan and just A&R guys at a club and thinking, wow, this could be a good thing. Now go out on your own, spend your own money putting your own albums out,
Yep.
book your own shows, show us you have a following. Maybe we'll give you a deal.
Maybe.
And it'll be what they call a 360 deal now. We get part of your merchandise.
Right.
We get a part of your touring. We get a part of everything.
Yeah.
but that old incentive to pick up and just move to Atlanta because you have exhausted everything you're going to do here. Well, while you're doing everything here and building up to a certain point, you're also getting married, having kids.
True.
You're tied.
Well, to me, if I was to pick up and move to Atlanta, and then you think, well, I'm closer to everything. I'm closer to all the gigs that aren't paying. I'm closer to
To the gigs,
And
that
I'm
aren't
just-
paying.
yeah, and I'm-
that's true.
I mean, because we play around Atlanta, and sometimes in
They
Atlanta,
pay good money over in the Golden Hour,
but
Yeah.
we can make a
it's-
living there.
you can make more of a living down here and traveling to Atlanta than you could I think just being there.
Pulling out all the stops and just
and
moving.
dealing with that traffic and
Because
high
you would
prices
have to leave there to make any money, every time. And we have to leave Waycross, but we're just an hour this way or a couple hours that way. But and then we try to pick moments of the year where we're going to go to California and back, or we're going to go down to Florida, or we're going to go up north or whatever. But I think a lot of the musicians in the Golden Isles one, I don't think there's a whole lot of original acts over there. There are some, but I don't see any. The bands that are there, there's so many gigs right there that they don't travel out like we. I think we escaped that trap by being from Waycross, because if we were there, we'd just be playing. We do play a lot of those.
You get caught up into that,
and then it's like, well, why do I want to drive 3 hours that way to make the same amount of money? But
some of our guests in a past podcast, Michael Longy and Michelle Hanneman, talented.
Originally from Chicago.
Natives, transplanted back down here in St. Simons, and you see they're on this treadmill like so many of them over there. Michael Longy plays with about 6 bands.
Everybody up there's in like every band,
and they do play out a lot. I've met a few bands.
Oh yeah,
that hot
There's
banana coffee.
Yeah, they're great.
Whatever.
We've had them
play
on
every night. Oh, Dakota and Ashton.
Yeah,
I like both of them.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, that it becomes your live. I mean, these guys are playing, traveling Riverside. They're playing 4 and 5 days a week, and the money, like I say over there, is very good. And so you take, that's better than you could make it a 40-hour work week somewhere, And
you bring a little joy to the people.
You're
that don't
doing
see a lot of
something that you really love.
Casual,
the people are built in. A lot of that's tourism over there.
I would say, like, as all the places we do go play, the Golden Isles, they really support music, and you don't get that everywhere. Like,
do you think that's because they're on vacation and cutting loose?
Well, I think even the locals are really supportive of.
Yeah.
I
do too.
They go out all the time, and it's just, you don't get that. And I feel like other towns, the townies, the locals, are too cool for anything, And
Athens can get like that sometimes.
They're too hip to give a shit, but over there, they're like, they really support you.
Yeah, I do see that.
All right. Now, Pancake Mountain is still legit, but you had to leave it behind. What'd you do?
Well, they're going to do something else with it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Someone wants it.
I didn't say it's
I'm
done.
not doing it just.
It's still legit.
It's still out there. Could be there.
Mm-hmm. So what was your next move after you said, I'm going to walk away from this for a while?
Some really cool, I really got into doing music videos. So.
Time. 2000.
2000, while doing Pancake Mountain, as soon as I got to LA, so 2008 or 9, started doing music videos, which I have a love-hate relationship with LA, but as far as like resources, well, first of all, it's too competitive. If you want a director or cameraman, there are 1,000 as good as I or better, so what's your idea? How are you being creative? But as far as resources, it's just insane the kind of things you can get out there. I mean, not just any camera in the world you want, but technicians to service them, production designers, builders will build you anything. We had a monkey one time, we needed a monkey in a skit. 3 a.m, you get a monkey, 24 hours, you get fake snow. What kind of snow do you want? Do you want the soft snow, the hard
3
snow?
3 a.m, that's great.
How do you want the monkey dressed? Do you want him to have a little suit?
Wow.
Monkeys are hard to work with, by the way. They look so cute, but they're mean. In fact, in one of those clips, I think the Gerard Way, we saw the monkey lie down on the TV. If you watch that back, if you rewind, you'll see the monkey. Okay. So I started doing music videos. I did 4 or 5 for the band Garbage that did Only Happy When It's Rain and all that.
Okay.
Shirley Manson turned out to be one of my neighbors, and I was such a fan of them anyway. And they were in a few bands we didn't have on Pancake Mountain. But again, it was so cool just to be able to make whatever you could imagine, you could kind of create there. So as much as I hate a lot about LA, I do love that there's spaces out there, there's equipment, there's people willing to work long crazy days.
Yeah.
And so that's what I kind of started doing.
And your job in that industry was what? Editing?
Well, directing mainly. Though I do edit all my stuff. I don't always shoot or film it all, but I try to edit. But mainly coming up with concepts. Like you pitch a band, I'll do a storyboard. I'm kind of bad drawer, but just a rough idea to say, here's the story, and film it.
Were you freelance?
Yeah, everything there is pretty much. Well, I had a studio I worked out of. So if they had jobs come in or editing or stuff like that, they'd call me a lot. But for everyone wants to direct, it's LA. Yeah. So you have to kind of go out and sell the bands.
Yeah,
and Pancake Mountain helped with that, like, oh, I remember you from here.
Yeah.
If you want to do a music video and then you do a few good ones, they start adding up and you just make a name for yourself. But again, so many talented people. And it's not somewhere for the older. As I get older, I'm just like, God, these teenage directors that are just blowing me away.
Always new ones coming up.
I'm looking at thinking, oh my God.
Have you heard about AI? It'll take your job.
Can we look at one of the videos?
Yeah.
Let's see. What's a good one? Type in under YouTube, garbage magnetized. We can watch all that. We can edit this, right? Can I run the bathroom?
Yeah.
Again, real quick.
We could take a break.
Oh,
yeah,
that'd
let's
be
take
great.
a short break. We'll be right back with our guest.
Oh, good.
Enjoying talking to you, brother.
Yeah, so far.
It's been fun. Yeah.
Something in my brain won't let me stray. Something in my veins gonna find its way. Something in the water taught me how to pray. When that cold black water finds its way into your veins, you'll never be the same.
Welcome back. Something in the Water podcast
Where'd we go?
with our guest, Scott Stuckey. Where did we go?
I don't know. It was weird.
We went to Cowboy Bunkhouse.
Yes.
Ooh,
I want to hear more about that.
We will talk about that for sure. I bet you that got y'all's attention.
You're making us wait.
First, though,
So
as
this is
we were talking about.
This is a video, a garbage video. The band. I'm not talking. That's not an adjective.
It's not garbage itself. Or it could be though. I don't know.
This is one of Scott's
Videos that yes,
Yes.
I directed, edited, filmed, all that. And we can cut to it.
Oh wow!
I like it already.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's supposed to be a little Shirley Manson, the little kid.
Okay.
God, I feel like I've seen this.
All this built with like stage flats, like you see in the theater, just flats of wood. So anyway, that gives you
where you get the girl. She's an actor.
So that goes back to the resources in L.A. that I just
you're like, I need a little girl that looks like
Shirley Manson, and thought, oh gosh, I hope someone answers. We got like 35, 40 people that all looked pretty much like little Shirley Mansons.
Wow.
And you're like, okay, which one's the best? It's
this little girl with the red dress and the girl in the white dress with the big guys, the same girl?
No.
Or is that two different? That one?
Those are two different
that's
people.
That's actual Shirley Manson.
The little girl's not there.
Yeah.
But that's the one we wanted to look like.
That's what I'm talking
the little,
about.
Oh,
white
yeah,
dress
they're the
girl,
same.
red dress girl. They're two different.
No, same girl. They're
Same
supposed
girl,
to be
okay.
her as a child.
Okay. I got you.
But when we went to look for one, there were just, tons.
Now, this little girl is
That's the same one.
20-something years old now, right?
Yeah. Let's see. She's probably 17, 18.
Oh, okay.
I would imagine. But this reminds me, actually, I'd forgotten this story. One year we film a Christmas special when we were with the PBS. And there's a song that he covers and does a really great video called Must Be Christmas. I don't know if you've seen it. And it's him in this house. And
with stairs.
The stairs, going up and down the stairs with this crazy accordion.
Yeah, he did a Christmas album.
Yeah, he did a Christmas album. And that was like the one they promoted.
Yeah.
From it. But anyway, we were going to do that song kind of like that. So I put an ad on Craigslist. I need an accordion player to do a Bob Dylan cover, blah, blah, blah. And literally 15 minutes after I placed it, a guy wrote saying, "Oh, I play accordion and I played with Bob." And I was like, holy, LA is so amazing. That's just crazy. And so I was sitting there typing, writing him back, and I got another one coming in, and he was like, I was the guy that played the accordion on that video and on the song.
Oh, wow.
And I'll do it for $75.
Man.
We're like, what?
I'll do it for $75.
And our budget was $150. I didn't want to tell him that. He'd already offered. Oh, Robert Mills, I hope you're not watching this. Damn. No, he's great,
I can assure you, Robert will never see this.
I don't know. Robert loves public these kind of things.
Okay,
You never know.
there are people out there like
know.
Robert.
There are. I hope he does.
We're building our whole
He's
case
an
on.
amazing guy, and he did, of course, a credible job. He was the guy.
Yeah.
But it just shows you the resources.
That's wild. So the first guy, did you even reply?
No, I didn't reply to him. I thought, should I wait another 5 minutes and maybe Dylan will write me back? I'm like, hey,
what
I'm
if I
free.
play accordion? Hey,
You
man.
never know. It's LA, baby. It all goes down. So it kind of scares me out there, but it's also exciting. So, anyway.
So that was Garbage Magnetized.
And I did the one above it, No Horses. We can click on and watch just a quick bit of that one.
So, folks, this is what happens in the mind of a politician's kid.
Click on the top one. That one. Here's another garbage one I did. Ads. YouTube's got to get their money. But we give them all these videos for free.
That's right.
It's like MTV. It was the perfect vehicle. The record companies gave them the videos, and they had commercials against the videos. So they were showing commercials, the videos, and showing commercials.
Yeah.
This is on the same stage we filmed the other video. And their drummer is Butch Vig, who produced Nirvana's Nevermind, the big. It's supposed to be blood coming down the walls, but it didn't.
You must like David Lynch.
Oh, yeah. Anything that's kind of absurd or off the wall.
Yeah.
That's us too.
I like that kind of stuff. It gets really cool in a minute. Yeah. No, it's not cool now. I'm not saying that.
Heck yeah.
Is that stock footage?
Some of it is, some of it we shot ourselves. That's stock footage we bought. But we tried to shoot as much of the stock footage around LA as we could. So, like we shot that in a Target. That's stock footage. We shot all that stuff. Almost all the time-lapse stuff we shot. The Women's March in LA, stock footage. So that's just kind of a taste of
That's great.
those things, which I love. It lets you be so creative, but still kind of be involved in music without being a musician.
Right. You're still in the business.
Still kind of doing music without doing music. But I feel all that knowledge of music and my love for music has helped me with both Pancake Mountain and the music videos. So
that's great. That's a lot more elaborate than I was expecting we was going to be seeing. Not that you couldn't do it. I was just like, I didn't. So that's crazy. It's
crazy stuff.
It's great.
It's a crazy world we live in.
What have you got on the horizon?
I'm going to New York this week and film a concert. I like doing like live shows too, filming people performing. A guy named Ted Leo playing at the Bowery Ballroom September 10th. I'm going to film that show.
Cool.
So just little things here and there. I'm trying to do a documentary about the differences between the Golden Isles. We've been talking a little about St. Simon's, Sea Island, Brunswick, and Jekyll. And just how different they really are. And though I've lived in big city, like DC has a lot of wealth, as does LA, but I've never really felt the differences I do in St. Simon's and Sea Island compared to Brunswick. So I've been kind of trying to explore that. So I might be hitting you up for an interview with that soon.
Sure.
The differences you see in those places, because they're so drastically.
Yeah, every one of those spots is so different, and they're right there.
And they're right there. It's 4 miles from the Sea Island Causeway to the Brunswick Causeway. It's just crazy difference. But I don't really have an answer to what the problem is or how to fix it. But
it's always funny to me over there. We'll play in Brunswick Friday night, and Saturday night we're in St. Simon's, and we got friends here and we got friends there, and they all know each other, or some of them. But hey, we're going to be at Tipsy's in Brunswick on Friday. I'm not going across the causeway.
I've gotten 4 people that said that exact thing. It's like a demilitarized zone or something, North Korea to South Korea. What do you mean?
It's like,
I'm not going over there. They won't cross the causeway.
And I think it has something to do with alcohol.
Well, I think that, we've been playing over there for years. We're drinking and we're driving back.
You won't ride with us.
So.
No, I think there is some kind of stigma or
it's like they won't cross the bridge. They won't come from Jekyll, or they won't go to Jekyll, or they won't go to St. Simon's or Sea Island.
Yeah, they get kind of set in their ways. But that downtown historic area is really coming back. Those first Fridays are really great.
Wow.
Have you been to the Porch Fests?
No, not yet.
Those are fun.
I think it was last night.
No,
that was the
November. Yeah,
it's on a Sunday in November, and it is. You got to go if you're still here.
I'm definitely.
Bands on porches.
Just
tons of them.
You get a map.
Love that idea.
You get a map, or you can pull it up probably on your phone.
And it's in the historical section of old houses.
And just bands all day on all these different porches. It's fun. Good time.
Well, we both love music and we love absurd things. Sean and Uncle Dave, when are you going to start your own kind of variety?
We were talking, about this, and we've alluded to it on several earlier episodes. But if you hadn't heard about it yet,
Let's go a little more in depth with it. Let's go.
This
Well,
is
we got
what
to
we
talk.
like to
We got to
call-
talk Justin into it first.
Yeah.
He's the one that presses all the buttons.
Can you pull up some of those?
Now we got Justin on the
you have
spot, though. We can just kind of.
Do you have access
he's-
to?
I don't think he has.
He
any
could
of
edit this
I've got
out,
them
though.
on my Facebook. If you, no, I'd have to log in.
it. We don't need.
Okay.
But we can imagine.
Yeah.
And when the key word in that is but. While we were, me and my wife and the Pine Box dweller Sean and our son Connor took a east to west coast and back jaunt back in April. We wanted to see the country, and we also played some gigs out there in California and Las Vegas. And while we were in Pioneer Town, California, we stayed with some brand new friends who, before we got there, were strangers to us. By the time we left, we were like bosom buddies. Spanky Baldwin and his lovely wife put us up in a desert hacienda for 3 nights. And one afternoon, Spanky and his wife were out doing their day jobs, and that left us alone at home.
One morning, I think.
Yeah, it was a morning. So we had time to get up, and I always get up last. And by that time, I was headed to take a shower and had to walk from my bedroom to the bathroom, which overlooked the kitchen and the breakfast table, where I saw Sean and Connor obsessed with their cell phones. And
Kids today.
and I knew that we were home alone, so I just eased out of the bedroom to take a shower in this and nothing else. They didn't see me coming. So I got to the edge.
Now they're scarred for life.
With Connor.
We didn't see you coming, but we were glad to see you go.
So they were over there, didn't even see me, and I crept up to the bathroom entrance there, and right outside that door was the corner of the wall leading into the breakfast area, and I stopped right there and peeked around the corner, and it was like this much of my face and this much of my lower extremity.
You just see down his torso.
It was a sideline. You couldn't see anything.
He planned it like that.
Yeah, it was all posterior.
It was scary. Looks like a horror movie.
It's scary posterior. and so I just say, hey, like that. Get their attention. They snatch their heads around there and see this beautiful vision of Uncle Dave. Half of him. And Sean just, hold on.
Getting a picture.
And he hit the picture just as I went.
Pull up the picture. Okay.
Oh, yes. I didn't even know that existed.
I'll find it.
I slapped my left cheek and uttered these words, which is what we're fixing to talk about. Uncle Dave's Cowboy Bunkhouse. Wow.
We were like, what the hell?
They fell out on the floor after that. And
Cowboy Bunkhouse.
Look for it soon.
we spun that idea around on that long journey from Pioneer Town to Las Vegas and the deserts, Monument Valley, Arches Monuments, Hoover Dam, Grand Canyon. We had all the time in the world. So we said, this is just an example. You know, this Cowboy Bunkhouse thing could be really big. Yeah. And we could, we could do this and that. It's kind of like Laugh In. Remember Laugh In? And so we started filming these little short clips out here in the backyard of the studio, and it's going to come out eventually on our Patreon podcast over. It's called The Deep End, Something in the Water, The Deep End on Patreon.com. It's only a $5 subscription per month.
Well worth it.
Well worth it. We do the deep end episodes feature some of our same guests as the regular episodes, and as in its name, we go a little deeper. You know, we drink a little more, we cuss a little more, there's more nudity.
Is that a selling point?
Yeah. Is that why the numbers are so bad?
Justin Mercer, our producer and engineer, gets more turned up than normal. And but anyhow, be on the lookout for Uncle Dave's Cowboy Bunkhouse.
And please write Justin and tell him he needs to do it.
Come on, Justin.
Come on, Justin.
Coming to a podcast.
Just in time.
Just in time.
Near you. So, yeah. You don't have any of them short clips of the belly of Elena Harrison that we filmed out? Oh, you filmed some of them, Justin. Didn't you?
No, I did.
You used your phone?
But I don't remember if I sent them to him.
You sent a lot of them to me, and they're on my Messenger account. Well, we'll save that for the debut.
For another. Just keep teasing it.
Yeah.
A little more each time. Each time.
For just for the hell of it, do you have the Halloween commercial we did? Just to show Scott? We used to try to go out and before we did the deep end and had the Patreon stuff, we were always trying to find a way to generate money to feed the guests and pay the websites and stuff.
Liquor store in Jessup.
So we would go out and get these liquor stores or
So Glow,
music stores and bars. Kind of fizzled out, but we had fun doing these little commercials, little ads for them. This was a Halloween one. Is it easy to get to?
Well, I don't have the actual file.
Yeah, you just go back to one of the episodes.
That might be too hard to remember which one it was on.
If you got one of the cheat sheets of all of our episodes, it'll show it in the right-hand column which episode was the Halloween.
Anyway.
Roll on down. Try Graham. Yeah.
Oh, here it is.
Wow.
How do you remember that?
Trippy.
I'm a professional myself.
Hey, Uncle Dave.
I might be 70, but I'm still an uncle.
If you're planning on getting 3 sheets in the wind this Halloween,
treat yourself to the best in booze that good spirits.
Located at 1202 First Street, Jessup, Georgia.
So remember,
Every witch and werewolf,
ghoul and goblin,
fang or claw,
lift your spirits with good spirits.
Not responsible for magic potions, creature comforts, or legal courage.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I love it.
Hey.
Oh, that's a great graphic. Are they saying, what the hell did I just watch? Holy, holy.
So I was just
That's
saying,
what I'm saying.
For the bunkhouse thing, I was, those kind of just odd.
Little vignettes, just odd, absurd.
And he and I can get
out there,
pretty way out there in our minds,
Oh, I can imagine.
Well, we're big fans of a lot of the same things you were inspired by, and yeah, man.
That's funny.
Yeah. What my question is, you got any tips for would-be podcasters / bunkhouse perpetrators?
Well, I think you gave the best thing. You don't wait for the muse to come to you to do it. you say it's time.
That is true.
know, and you just do it like you did with that. You don't have the best costumes. You don't have the best, just what you have, and that's funnier almost.
Yeah,
you tried to kind of do it again or do it like that, and all these ad agents. I've had ad agents come to me before and say, "Oh, make us a viral video." Well, you don't make people you catch this moment that just catches fire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I could do that, I'd be making them for myself all the time. But that's what's great is just getting it done. And it's a good thing. You do it because you love it, and I think we all love working and what we do. And
it's so rewarding to make something out of nothing, or just, this was just an idea and this morning, and now we're cutting up sheets and
with the internet and everything involved in it, even though we're way down here in Southeast Georgia, we're out there, or we have the potential to be everywhere. Depending on, I guess the first step is monetization on a YouTube channel, and that's likes. Right? Is that the main?
It's so hard to do because you feel like no one's watching. Or I used to think, it's this great equalizer, the internet. Everyone now can put their stuff up and have it. But there's so much stuff, you get lost. Your mind just goes blank. I can't comprehend all this. So I think you just have to put it out.
Stumbled on beautiful little gems of, that's what I love when I go down the rabbit hole or something. I try not to because I waste so much time. But by doing that, you
find some beautiful stuff.
You stumble on things.
Yeah.
And
but not everybody does.
Nobody.
No, but it's still rewarding that I think, no one liked this Pancake Mountain. No one watched it. It got no views. Then a few years later, I'll get this one kid in Ohio that is like, "Oh man, that blew me away. Thank you so much." And you're like, "Damn, that was good. I'm glad it blew someone's mind."
Yeah.
Cool. So you just got to do it. Don't wait for the muse.
Yeah.
Get out there. And it's a good idea. Uncle Dave's bunkhouse. Just the sound.
Sounds scary.
Now, what does Spanky think of it? Have you told him the idea?
I don't know.
I don't know if we broached that subject.
It probably.
We hadn't had time to materialize.
Yeah, like it took some miles to pull together.
To gel. Yeah, to get it.
Remember when?
for a couple of days, it was just like cowboy bunkhouse. Like, what was that about, Dave? What are you doing?
So my tip, you do it, and you find good people to work with, and you slowly build up a scene, a kind of thing of people doing it. And you're already doing that,
Yeah, we've got devotees scattered, and we've got a few loyal Patreon subscribers. One girl loves us so much that she upped her subscription rate on her own. She doubled it.
Wow, that's cool.
She doubled it from $5 to $10. Folks.
Nice. And you can all do that.
Yeah.
Nothing's stopping you.
You should all do that.
Take it from an expert.
Right? Just get out there and do it. That's what I say. But it can be frustrating, out there, so much stuff. And at least, like, record stores to me, at least used to seem like, I don't know, a gatekeeper or something, that if it got to that point, it has to be okay. You had to go through a record company, big recordings, because back then we didn't all have recording studios in the house. You had to go into a big studio. You had to get it there. You had to get cover art. Boom. What is this? Everything you look at now, everywhere. I can't even process the music I get every day. It's crazy, but there's still, I have hope and faith. There's still amazing new bands.
Oh yeah, there's new bands coming out
all the time.
Every time, for every taste.
Like Hot Banana Coffee we were talking about.
Great. We're not going to know it unless we stumble.
Yeah.
Right.
That's probably fair to say. It's a glut of information, and it desensitizes you Not that you're seeing bad stuff, but it desensitizes the experience.
Right.
It's desensitized. It's like, I caught myself going down that rabbit hole finally, and I said, you fool. 6 hours is gone. And I said, I made a conscious effort to restrain, and I'll find myself falling back into it after 15 minutes sometimes. And I say, stop it.
I know.
Yeah. But it is fun to do. I guess it's like binge watching episodes of some serial TV program or something. If you have the time to do it and you can allow yourself that luxury, jump in.
Do it.
Yeah. Rabbit hole, jump in. Yeah. What else can we talk about? You're back in, your folks relocated to Sea Island.
Correct.
And they're in their 80s.
Correct.
And so you're just kind of taking a respite to kind of come back home and be with them and
correct
help out.
Yeah.
So,
being the good son.
How long you been there?
Month and a half. But when we lived in D.C., we would come down here for a lot of summers to see family. Mm-hmm. So I kind of know the area, but not like extended periods of time like now. Mm-hmm. So I've learned a lot more about the area. When I first got down here, too, I did a job with the, what's the name of them? They're environmentalists, 100 Miles. Georgia has 100 miles of coast. Mm-hmm. And they were doing a documentary on celebrating the coastline and the people that lived on the coast.
Neat.
So I got to work on that and drive all up and down the coast and Darien. We've come to Waycross, Okefenokee, all over. So I really appreciate it more now.
It's kind of a strange coast, Georgia.
It is.
Coast. The way it's laid out, it's a lot of
deep
islands, but not like, not like tropical islands or anything. It's just
no, but it's pretty well preserved, unlike
Cumberland Island and
Little St. Simons. No, it's beautiful. So,
Sapelo.
When I pulled up to the shoot the podcast and out in Justin's front yard was scattered our vehicles, and there was one right in the front, and I'm doing a wheel around the park, and there's Hollywood license plate, and I said, okay, now this is gonna be fun.
No, I want to change plates. I think I'm gonna leave that car down here when I go back, but I got to get Georgia plates because some cop's gonna say, "Oh,
I can see that,
Mr. LA Fancy Boy." I see, huh?
We're gonna need you to get out.
Show us your big city ways.
Who
yeah.
do you think you are, boy?
Who's the biggest star you ever met? Who do you know? What? Yeah,
I don't care how they do it in California.
Right. Here's how we do it in South Georgia.
Now you gonna fix that left tail light?
And that's when I call you two late at night. Please come get me. I'm in Jessup.
As far as I know, sir, there's nothing wrong with that. You sassing me, boy?
No.
We love the police.
Yes. Yes.
A group of our most eligible watchers, police.
Oh yeah,
yeah, hours that they work. So you're in the Golden Isles now, and was that documentary of the 100 Mile Coast? Is that exist now?
It should be on their websites this month. And I don't know what they're planning on doing with it.
Who did you say it was? PBS?
No, they did it in-house for themselves. The 100 Mile Coast is a nonprofit organization located in Brunswick.
And you helped direct?
Yeah. No, I didn't do the directing. For once, I did the sound, which I haven't done in a long time.
Okay.
I did the actual field sound with the recorders and lavalier mics and all that. So
Neat. Well, that'd be something I'm looking forward to. I like.
Yeah.
That's one of my little weak links. I just don't have cable TV anymore, so
Good
everything's smart TV and Roku and Yahoo and Yeehaw.
Yeah, cut the cable, people.
Oh yeah,
Get rid of it.
Did that a while back, and a little bit richer for it.
Yes, and those big companies overcharge you. The dish networks, the direct TVs.
It's a bunch of crap. Yeah.
It's robbery. Don't put up with it. Don't put up with it.
Well, it's time for Uncle Dave's Tale of the Week.
Yay!
Oh, this needs to go to Justin. Now y'all can see just how small this room is.
Do we have some introduction music for it?
No, but I think I wrote a little thing, got in my phone recorder from way back. So sometime I'll pull that up, see if we can replicate it.
Or Sean and he could do a beatbox and I rap something real quick. Or
yeah.
It's time for Uncle Dave. Here he comes. Here he comes. No, okay.
I don't beatbox.
Oh God! Now people are cutting us off like crazy. Now
look out!
You think we already lost the audience? Now
look out! Look out! Look out! Tale of the week.
Tale of the week. Tale of the week. It's Uncle Dave. Yeah.
Sit right back. Let Uncle Dave speak. All right. We usually have. Yeah, I was telling you about. I blogged, and then it turned into just a little thing here. But a buddy of mine who I grew up with here in Waycross was living in Valdosta, and he was also writing a memoir of our childhood and his life and everything. And he's a mover and a shaker any way you look at it. He's always got some kind of little something he's working on, the next get-rich scheme. And some of them are valid, some of them just fall. And James Cock is his name. He was the one that prompted me to start blogging. And he was also the one who had his book published with a local publisher out of Valdosta and turned his publisher on to my blog. And he said, yeah, I'll send you a contract. I'll publish it. So I got a little tiny 25-story book called Uncle Dave's Tales of the Week from Dog Hill to Tripoli and back. And I usually have Justin's copy sitting on the armrest right here, but I inadvertently took it home. And you needed to know that before I jump into this. Let's do it like this. Much like springtime rejuvenates the soul, the first crisp, cool days of fall does the same after a long, hot southern summer. As far back as I can remember, those first crisp, cool days always moved into Waycross at the same time the fair came to town. Combing through the Waycross Journal-Herald archives, huge leather-bound binders upstairs in the Journal-Herald's office building, and old reels of microfilm at the Okefenokee Regional Library, I was able to glean a little history on some of the early fairs in our area. The first annual Dixie Fair was held October 18th, 23rd, 1948, out at the Waycross and Ware County Airport. The event offered 10 big rides: the merry-go-round, Ferris wheel, whirlwind, caterpillar, flying scooter, and over 30 shows and concessions, entertainment courtesy of Mad Cody Fleming. There he is on your screen. He don't look mad.
Doesn't look too mad.
Renowned carnival operator who spent his winters in Hickox, Georgia, raising cattle and dabbling in politics, religion, and farming. Country crooner Eddie Arnold was the musical attraction at the third annual Dixie Fair in 1950. Nicknamed the Tennessee Plowboy, he grew up on a farm near Henderson, Tennessee, Arnold brought with him to Waycross 10 of his prized purebred Angus bulls and exhibited them at the fair. Evidently, he had a big thing for cattle. One of his most famous recordings was The Cattle Call, written by Tex Owens and recorded twice by Arnold in 44 and 55. The latter record spending 26 weeks on the country charts, peaking at number 1 for 2 weeks. You ever heard that one?
Mm.
I can't do it now because of the crud, but ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
He was a yodeler, unlike me. The Exchange Club sponsored Nashville's Roy A. Cuffett 1951's annual event, which had by then moved from the airport to Memorial Stadium, built in 1949. Losing momentum by 52, the Dixie Fair moved again to the City Auditorium and offered no midway and no rides. Only 4-H, FFA, and FHA exhibits, Women's Club Antique Show, and the Garden Club Flower Show. As exciting as watching a camellia bloom was, there was still the ever-popular Okefenokee Swamp Park exhibit, in which a brave employee, probably with the last name of Strickland, Cox, or Thrift, milked poisonous snakes to the delight of the disenchanted youngsters who kept demanding, "How come there ain't no flying scooter?" I could find no record of a fair in Waycross during 1953, the year of my birth. The Exchange Club took over the reins for good 64 years ago, and on October 10th, 1954, the first annual Okefenokee Agricultural Fair debuted behind the Gold Leaf Tobacco Warehouse, located next to the train tracks on Genoa Street, just behind a young Wayne Scarborough's home. The event lived and breathed there until October 21st, 1963, when it opened with a grand display of fireworks at its present Knight Avenue location, home to my earliest fair memories. Boy, what memories. The smells alone were singularly magnificent, from fresh popcorn, foot-long slaw dogs, to piles of sawdust and piles of livestock manure. Add to that the visual explosion of multicolored lights and hand-painted freak show posters, the sounds of calliope-driven merry-go-rounds, screaming fairgoers twisting, spinning, and whirling on gravity-defying rides, and relentless hustlers fast-pitching their game boosts to anyone with money to spend. And by the end of the night, we were spent out and tired, but mind-numbingly satisfied. Mama's brothers, Uncle Bud and Uncle Vance, were pretty handy at the fair booths, as evidenced by the brightly colored stuffed teddy bears that rested on Grandma Carter's chenille bedspreads, sitting upright between the pillows with unblinking eyes and ribbons tied round their necks. My earliest memory of the fair booths was the safe and simple pick-up ducks. Did you ever play that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Was you good at it?
I think I won a goldfish one time.
Pick-up ducks, guaranteed to send you home with at least a set of Chinese handcuffs. Those sharp-talking carnies with their games of chance were always a step ahead of me, and I'd usually retreat in a walk of shame, staring at the ground in front of me, which led me one lucky year to spy old Abe Lincoln peeking up from a $5 bill, barely visible under a layer of sawdust. As I grew older, the fair rides I spent my money on were faster and ultimately more nauseating. Although I never lost any previously eaten fair food, I'm sure I lost plenty of pocket change while suspended upside down on the bullet or the zipper. One of my favorites from 1964 was a pink circular ride called the Roundup, where you would walk onto the flat disc and stand in one of the many individual stalls lining the outer edge. The ride would begin spinning slowly, and after working up a nice head of centrifugal force, it tilted upright to a 70-degree angle, leaving me to ponder my existence, being held in by the slimmest of chains. It was looked like a little old bicycle chain. One of my favorites was that. The further you stroll down the midway, the more intense were the rides. There, too, at the back end of the fairgrounds, lay the teenage rite of passage. Hoochie Coochie tent. For a few years, I wondered about the place where long lines of men would file in and out. My older cousins used to snicker knowingly whenever its name was uttered, which only fueled my interest. Finally, and fortunately for me because it was banned the following year, I gained admittance into the steamy, smoke-filled, dim-lilied harem. Too many years have passed for me to recall what her stage name was or what she looked like.
Cinnamon.
But that woman lived up to all my teenage expectations. She was quite agile. And I never looked at a ping pong ball the same after that experience.
Oh, man.
Years later, I was so pleased to share the excitement of the fair with my firstborn daughter, Megan. Oh, there she is she's on old Red, young Red. I loved seeing her little toothless grin and watching her little brown eyes widen with amazement. When she was about 4, she boldly went into the kiddie fun house, filled with a slow-rolling barrel-shaped tube, some soft dangling cylinders, and a short climb up a rope ladder. It's kind of like an obstacle course for children. She made it ceremoniously to the top level, where a 4-foot slide back down ended in a pool of colorful plastic balls with an exit to the left. From her vantage point atop the slide, she couldn't see no exit. All she could see was a wall behind the ball pit with no way out. She started to cry, screaming, "It's a trap! It's a trap!" I headed into the kiddie fun house to save her, having a much more difficult time maneuvering the obstacles than she did. And I didn't cry as much when I got to the top. So over the past 21 years, I've been hosting a couple of annual music festivals at the fairgrounds, Swamptown Get Down and Grand Parsons Guitar Pool. And every time I set foot on the grass, the memories of fairs past come flooding back. As I walk through the old 4-H building to turn the outside electrical lights on, I think back to those Tuesday nights in 1967 when our Boy Scout troop, 320, held its weekly meetings there within the same walls. As we decorate the music stage with curtains and banners, I recall the many times my rock and roll band Rhythm Oil would entertain the fair audiences, seated cozily on rows of hay bales, beneath the backdrop of the spinning Ferris wheel and only a candy apple throw from the annoying pig race. As I ride down the midway in my golf cart to check on the festival campers, I can still hear the whiz-bang hum of the breathtaking rides that left a young boy amused and excited so many years ago. Then, out of nowhere, I run over a ping pong ball. Well, folks, that was when this podcast comes out, the fair will be in town, I'm sure, or it'll be approaching. And we urge you to support that. It's still the Okefenokee Agricultural Fair, probably started in 64, so that's almost a good round number. 59 years this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they'll appreciate it, and so will the carnies.
Appreciate you coming on, Scott.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Making the drive over.
Oh, this was a blast.
I hope we'll see you again out and about, because the majority of our gigs are in your backyard.
Well, I'll definitely be there for that. But anytime Uncle Dave's Bunkhouse needs some ideas or guests on it or anything, some beatbox again, I'm here.
Hey, you would make a great first episode guest, since
I'll do it.
Pancake Mountain is
Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
As
Scott Stuckey.
Okay.
And Instagram as Pancake Mountain.
Okay.
So check me out. I don't do Facebook too often, but I will check it.
Yeah. We use it as a tool more than anything, Well, we appreciate you. And
wait, that kid looking. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
that
old
Matt.
Jamie.
Oh, yeah.
Not you.
Little Jamie, get out of the way.
You.
Little brat.
Yeah, your mom is calling you.
You're too close to the screen.
You're going to
go outside and play. Yeah.
But we do appreciate y'all, every one of y'all that sit back and watch 3 seconds of us, and maybe a little longer. And talking about our patreon.com account, it's right there on the internet. Please like us. Just
subscribe. It means a lot. It's a little thing.
I mean, just if you're here to hear this, or if you don't hear this, you won't be able to do what I'm asking you to. But like, subscribe, what's the other ones? Notify, save,
regular
share.
mail, anything.
Share.
Smoke signals.
Revolt.
Vomit.
Homing pigeons. Or
all of that ends up helping us to get this product a little further down the road, We ain't saying we're special or anything, but with y'all's help, we could be. We just might be. So thanks again for watching. We appreciate it. See you next time.
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate.